Hey, it's Arroe on iHeartRadio. There's someone I want you to get to know. Daniel Rodriguez.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining.
Good morning, Arrow. How are you?
Listen to that voice, Daniel. Holy cow, why aren't you doing radio?
I know. I was just saying, these radio tours, I think this might be a nice sideline for me.
Long lay the world in sin and error pining.
Daniel, that's a strong, natural voice. That is not a disc jockey trained voice. So where'd it come from?
Father and grandfather. Yeah, father and grandfather had rich voices. My grandfather most particularly. When he yelled at you, you listened.
The weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel voices. Oh, night divine.
Being a tenor in high school, I was the kid that everybody made fun of me. Is that the reason why you became a police officer? Because you had to shy away from being that tenor?
No, I became a police officer to pay the bills. When I was a young man, I've been in the music business all my life, basically been singing since I was a very little boy. And when I was 20 years old, I started a family. And I had to go out and get a real job, like my father would tell me. He said, you need benefits. You need to go out there and get a good job. And I did 6 years with the post office. I was the singing mailman before I was the singing policeman. And after 6 years in the New York U.S. Postal Service, I was ready to get a gun. And they gave me, the police department called me, and I took the job, became a New York City police officer at age 30. I just loved the idea of being a cop. Cops were always, for me, when I was a young man, cops were always, like Superman. If anything ever happens, go see a police officer. If you ever get lost, find a cop. He'll make sure you get home safe. They'll protect you. And that was my idea of policing.
All oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy.
So many people outside your circle think of New York as being this big, outrageous city that's always in need of being under control. Is that the reason why this quote fell from your heart? Because of your daily battles on the street? One day I'll hear the laugh of children in a world where war has been banned. Daniel, that had to come from someplace.
One day I'll hear the laugh of children in a world where war has been banned.
One day.
Well, that was a beautiful duet that I did with my wife, and that I put that song on the album because of the times, not so much the season. The album is a beautiful holiday Christmas album. But that song I added because of all that I've been reading and all that I've been seeing, and I wanted to give something that was inspiring, something that gave hope and strength during the season.
When you were in the studio with your wife and you got to record with her, what was that feeling when you heard her voice come over those studio earphones?
My wife has the voice of an angel. She is a tremendous singer. She rivals me in concert, and when I heard her sing, and in the beginning after September 11th, she did a lot of wonderful songs. It even today it inspires me.
Yes,
I believe in the people of all nations to join
And yet there was that day when from the mess a voice did rise through the confusion, and that voice led the people through song to find peace. And that man was you, sir.
Well, that was another moment in my life where all of my life I was looking for a career in music, and in that day, in those moments, I found a calling. The gift that I was given was used where the most people could benefit most from it, and I sang for myself in those days as much as I did for the city. I sang to heal my own wounds and to heal my own tragedies that I suffered that day as well. And I just took the country along with me.
Do you see what I see? Way up in the sky, little lamb. Do you see what I see?
Well, even when you're singing Where Else Would a Lamb Be Born, did you not feel like in that moment of 9/11 that you were the lamb and that you were chosen to help bring people love?
Well, I realized that I was chosen. I knew that I was spared that day for something greater, because that day, as it unfolded, I was all set when I came out of the Battery Tunnel just before the second plane hit. I was going to make a right-hand turn and go to Port Authority and park down there, and I was going to join my crew, which was already at Ground Zero. Most of my coworkers worked at Patrol Bureau, Manhattan South at 13th Precinct. I knew they were already there. And my plan was to make a right-hand turn and go there. And in the last moments, something said, let someone know where you're going. This small piece of academy training that we get, just let someone know where you're going. And instead of making a right, I quickly made a left and went to One Police Plaza, checked in, and then went there. And that moment in time is the reason I'm here to tell the story. If I would have made the right, I wouldn't be here. I would have been in the towers as opposed to just outside of the towers when the towers came down.
No proper place, no regal palace to receive a royal birth. God's gift of love, wrapped in a blanket, would be his way to reach the earth.
That was togetherness through destruction. I mean, everybody came together as one. We stood united.
Absolutely. In the days after September 11th, there was a calm in the city that I'd never seen before, I'd never felt before. In the country, no one was beeping their horns. People were greeting each other, and there was that sense of concentrating on those first responders that were on the pile that were trying to in the rescue efforts, and we put aside all our differences and we kind of concentrated on them. And there was a real calmness after September 11th, and that's something that I wish that we didn't have to have a tragedy to reenact, to live again.
No stately house, no noble mansion, where he would reign in majesty.
Life is good, and I feel blessed that I'm able to do what I do in my world and able to give what I can give from myself. And this Christmas album was one of the things that I did with blood, sweat, and tears. This is the first album I did independently. This is my own label, my own company. This was outside of the record companies. I sought the help of friends that I've been with for many years who have been on all my albums. Dave Rudeau is a California engineer, one of the best California engineers. Tim Heinz is an amazing arranger and engineer. He does work for Disney. And they got together and they created a project that I'm so proud of, because we were able to take some classic music, some wonderful songs, and some songs that you won't hear all the time, like Some Children Hear Him, and When a Child is Born, Mary Did You Know, and Where Else Would a Lamb Be Born? And we were able to breathe new life into these songs, and I'm ecstatic that we are able to bring this project out and have it out there now.
The sound of singing I hear down every street. Families have gathered from miles away. Oh, Merry Christmas.
It's a little giggle, but at the same time, you can't help but close your eyes and say, thank you, God.
Amen. Amen.
Shalea Fraser, we're talking about a true pop diva here. What? Yeah. How do you go from being a New York City police officer to singing with a diva and not sit there and say, I got to text somebody about this moment?
I text everybody, all my Facebook friends. It's like, do you believe what I'm doing today? Matter of fact, this morning I was putting all this wonderful these wonderful interviews on Facebook, and I'm telling everybody because, many people see me as a celebrity, and maybe, there's so many different ways that people envision me, but I am just such a guy, living a dream and enjoying every moment as it comes. And so, I'm constantly texting, and when I got a chance to sing with Shalea Frazier on this beautiful pop song, Christmas Day, I was a little nerve-wracking for me because I've got to step up to where she is, and she was so beautiful, so amazing. The song came out brilliantly, and then I pinch myself and I'm like, wow, am I really doing all this? Is this all really happening for me? And then I pray a lot about it, and I say, well, this is what the Lord has put in my world. This is where this is the journey that I'm on.
Light a candle, for peace we pray. Oh, Merry Christmas, Christmas Day.
Mary, did you know that's one of those songs that people can't identify instantly, but once they get sucked in, where did you go when you went into that song? Because you can't just sing those verses. You really have to bring them to life.
Well, I've been a man of faith all my life, and faith has been what's driven me.
Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water?
As a young man, even through 9/11, I know that my existence is based in faith, and so my spiritual guide is, of course, Mary and Jesus, and so that's my guide. Now I'm open to everyone else's life and everyone else's guide. I'm very, 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 very inclusive with all beliefs. But when I sang "Mary, Did You Know" and those lyrics, and especially this arrangement, it really was something brand new.
Mary, did you know that your baby boy will give sight to a blind man? Mary, did you know?
I'm looking to inspire others, and that's what this project is all about. Looking to give back what I feel when I sing these songs. When I perform these songs, I feel strength and hope and inspiration, and that's what I hope that my audience will take away.
When you kiss your little baby, you kiss the face of God. Mary, did you know?
See, isn't that the coolest thing in the world? When you are the producer, you get to take your own chances. And when you sit there and you're in that studio and you're messing with the knobs, what did you just get up and walk in the studio and drop the vocals, or did you have the microphone right in there with you?
Oh no, we had all the music done. So the orchestrations were all done, and when the orchestration was Mark Riley, who conducts for the Hour of Power, conducted for us, and we had amazing musicians. And so we go into the studio and we've got the mic and we're sitting there, and especially for the duets, and I'm collaborating with Karina, and I'm like, how are we going to do this?
Silent night, holy night.
Finally, we came up with this final version that you hear on the album, and it was beautiful. It just kind of happened. It wasn't one of those things where we knew long beforehand what it was going to sound like.
Long young virgin, mother.
At the end, it was like, okay, great, we got it, we did it. This is what we created in this moment, and that was as authentic as it gets.
Infant soul, tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep.
Daniel, this is where you really got to be creative as a producer. My two grandchildren are Spanish. You did an American version mixed with a Spanish version. That is a moment.
Noche de paz, noche de amor. Todo duermen derredor, entre sus astros que esperen su luz. Jesús. Brilla la estrella de paz. Brilla la estrella de paz.
Karina Nouveau, who is a 2-time Grammy nominee Cuban, she's a Cuban soul singer. She's tremendous. She's a beautiful artist, a wonderful personality. And when we do a song, you know, it takes months of working with arrangers and working and to make a new, to give it a new coat of paint. We take the song and then we sit with an arranger and we say we want this to sound like this, and we want the harmonies to sound like that. And you have rehearsals and you go through all this whole process. But Karina and I did Silent Night on the day in the studio. So what you're hearing is what we created in the studio together. Just, hey, let's do it like this. And what does this sound like? And I think it's one of the top songs on the album. Someone else will decide what my legacy would be. Someone else will say, hey, this is what he did and this is what he left behind. You know, I'm just going to do. And at the end of the day, it's really all about that. Right now I concentrate on my family, my friendships, things that I cherish, my faith, and my music.